Church, did y'all get into part 1 of this season 10 Married to Medicine reunion? Well, baby, I did, and we got to talk about it. I got my notes. I hope y'all got yours. Let's get on into this damn mess. To all my returning church members, baby, welcomes. And to all my new people, please, baby, please, make sure to smash that subscribe button and to also click that bell notification so you are notified every time I decide to upload a video. Now, I'm just going to hop right in, y'all. You know, not too much happened in the part 1 of this reunion, but I think we have enough to do a good video, all right? So first and foremost, did Phaedra date Dr. G? Is she a liar? Look, if this ain't the $4,000 question, I don't know what is. Did Phaedra date Dr. G? You know, I don't think that the problem is whether we're trying to determine if Phaedra dated Dr. G. It seems between Letitia, you know, Dr. G, Quad, and Phaedra that they have an agreement that, you know, Phaedra did date Dr. G. Now, how far it went seems to be, you know, the question at hand. The way I feel about it is this. Phaedra, clearly something happened between you and Dr. G, all right? I think we can all kind of agree that there was no sex involved, right? That seems to be the case. It seems to be like y'all were just preliminarily dating. Maybe you held the man's hand. Maybe you kissed him. Maybe you asked him for $4,000, all right? But clearly it didn't progress to the point of an actual relationship. Some way, shape, or form, Dr. G must have got friend zoned, or you didn't get the $4,000 that you wanted for, and everything, you know, the rest is history, as they say. Phaedra, I'm kind of inclined to believe, you know, Dr. G, Letitia, and Quad, because unfortunately, mama, we don't know you for telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, okay? I'm sorry. You got on Married to Medicine this year, Phaedra, okay? And the $1 million question was, you know, what does Phaedra think about that whole situation with her, Portia, and Candy, okay? What is the kind of breakdown of it from her perspective? Does she take, you know, responsibility for the part that she played in it? Is she remorseful, all right? You got on the show and you talked about your life, your children, your businesses, your dating, everything else but what the people truly wanted to hear from you, okay? And it seems like from the outside looking in, there was a concerted effort, okay, to keep the focus of your time on the show off of your past history with Portia, Candy, and the housewives, okay? So to me, until we get that kind of breakdown in terms of how you feel about it, you know, what you truly did, what you didn't do, whether you're remorseful, everything that you do is kind of viewed under the vein of, you know, untruth, okay? Untruth, not copping to what you did. You know, it's very hard to take you seriously when we still don't have that, all right? Now, did you ask the man for $4,000? Like I said before, that's the $4,000 question. I think that you did. Phaedra is the type of woman, y'all, okay? And I don't mean this in a mean way or a shady way or anything, okay? Phaedra seems like the type of woman that requires a lot, all right? It seems like you got to make some paper in order to date her. You got to kind of fund her damn lifestyle. Now, in the present day, clearly Phaedra is a boss. She got her businesses. She got her money. She doing her thing or whatever. But back then, Phaedra, let's not act like there wasn't a time in your life where $4,000 may have been hitting, okay? You may scoff at it today in terms of, you know, I can't do nothing with $4,000. My bag costs 10. Well, that's you today. Perhaps there was a time in your life where $4,000 would have truly made the difference between a good week for you and a bad week for you. A good relationship for you and a bad relationship for you, okay? So let's not scoff at the $4,000, because for anybody that doesn't run in the circles that you run with, $4,000 for being someone's girlfriend, I guess a regular monthly allowance, is a lot of damn money, okay? And because we only know you from, you know, the vision that you portray through reality TV and on the TV, it's believable that you would ask this man for $4,000. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of it and exactly how the ask-ation of your situation was done, but I believe that there's some truth to it, okay? $4,000 is a very specific amount, okay? And, between Dr. G, between Quad, between Letitia, they all seem to be in agreement. And because we don't know you for telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, I'm going to go to where, two or more agree, all right? So y'all drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about that situation. Did Phaedra ask the man for $4,000, or is she, selectively forgetting the damn history, okay? Now let's move on to this Toya Med Gala thing, in terms of Toya not giving the $1,000. The thing about it is this. Sometimes I just don't realize the hills that people decide that they're going to die on, okay? If you look at the situation, this is the first annual Med Gala, okay? We're kind of getting the medical community together. We're basically trying to do a good thing for, the community, for the doctors, etc. And it was agreed on that everybody is going to give I'm thinking about $4,000 from the beginning. Everybody is trying to give $1,000, right? Now, I don't know if the full event basically was, 7,000. How many women is it in terms of the cast? But it seems like $1,000 still would have been less than what you would have needed to put on an event of that magnitude, okay? But, listen, maybe production has something to do with it. Maybe there was some sort of budget regarding the show, but the women's contribution in terms of the cast was $1,000 per person. All right. Everybody gave their money except you. Now you say that because you have a relationship with the winery, you fit in to bring, I think it was like $1,400 or $1,500 worth of wine to the event, okay? That's all fine and dandy. But what Toya doesn't seem to be realizing, okay, is that you bringing this $1,400 in terms of the wine, it's not congruent to the $1,000 that we asked for in order for you to put towards the damn event and be a team player, okay? Because first off, this is based on your relationship with the winery. You got your wine club, you got the relationship with the winery, you are, the ambassador, the brand sponsor, whatever the case may be, you are getting this wine for free, okay? And because of that, yes, I recognize that the value of what you're bringing is more than the $1,000, but you're not paying for it, okay? And then you started doing this whole thing about, I'm only allotted a certain number of cases per year and da-da-da-da-da. I don't care about none of that, okay? That seems like a personal problem that you need to figure out your damn self, all right? But in terms of you bringing these cases, the net effect to you is zero in terms of having to come out of pocket for anything. If anything, you come out ahead in terms of getting the wine for free and also getting the free sponsorship, all right? The thing about me is this. I'm all about crisis aversion, okay? And I refuse to give people an inch with which to hang me with, all right? Toya, you walk around with a $17,000 handbag, okay? You rent a multi-million-dollar house. You push a $100,000 car, okay? Clearly, the $1,000 is not something that's going to affect your life in an extraordinary way, okay? So in order to just, you kind of have to deal in life sometimes with dealing with shit on the front end, okay? And I don't mean to curse. I'm having a good day this week, honey. It's Monday, and I'm trying to be godly and next to the Lord, okay? But sometimes Toya and her situation just be frustrating the hell out of me, okay? In life, sometimes you have to deal with things on the front end versus the back end, okay? If you had just paid the $1,000 on the front end, then you would literally have avoided the arguments, the embarrassment, and everything that came on the back end from you just not, cutting the damn $1,000 check, being a team player, and not making it a big deal, okay? So whether this was part of some grand, storyline continuation or drama for the final episode, I don't know, but it just seemed like in the grand scheme of things, okay, your life is much more expensive than this $1,000 in terms of this hill that you're trying to die on, all right? Now, was Heavenly wrong for calling her out? Just like Dr. Jackie said in this, first part of the reunion, she was not wrong for calling her out in terms of what she said. She was wrong for the venue in which she did it, okay? It is very wrong to call out somebody publicly for something that wasn't a public concern from the get-go, okay? The agreement to get the $1,000 was between you ladies as a collective. It was not for the whole, medical community that came out to the Med Gala to kind of be witness and party to the dysfunction in y'all group, okay? That was embarrassing. no matter what you may think of Toya, you know, she still has a brand to protect, and you doing it heavenly in such a public forum kind of probably left a bad taste in people's mouth for Toya's business acumen and what she's doing and how she contributes to the group. So, you know, yes, you should have checked her in terms of she was dead ass wrong for that whole, you know, $1,000 mix up, but you know, sometimes you have to kind of pick the time and place with which to confront people, and whether you did it with the ladies as a collective or one-on-one, those two situations would have been better than in front of the damn event, okay? So Toya's wrong for not giving the money. Heavenly's wrong for calling the lady out in front of everybody, okay? Now let's move on to Dr. Jackie's comments tearing down her business. You know, y'all, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all here. When Dr. Jackie was going through this storm in terms of the comments that she gave regarding, you know, black mothers and stuff like that, I was kind of on the exterior of it. You know, I knew that something was going on with Jackie. I did not kind of investigate in terms of the extents of it, but clearly that lady has been through a storm, all right, because the simple mere mention of the situation from Andy makes her dissolve into tears, okay? You know, I always say if somebody brings up a situation and you dissolve into tears, clearly you're not through it yet, okay? Because in order to kind of gauge whether you're past something, you should be able to talk about it without getting emotional. And clearly something still hit for her, you know, with that situation. Now, as she talked about it, it seemed like her business truly took a hit from these comments that came from, I guess, some sort of conversation which she had with Heavenly on Heavenly's YouTube channel. All bad roads seem to stem from that damn YouTube channel. Look, I love Dr. Heavenly. I love how shady she is. I love, you know, her YouTube channel and her style in terms of what she does. But it's very hard to kind of maintain relationships with people in the personal side when you're blasting them out in the public side, okay? And it seems like that is kind of what happened in a way with Dr. Jackie in terms of these comments, because somebody kind of dug up these comments that were from, I think Andy said 2020, and now they're in the forefront. I'll say this, okay? Yes, Dr. Jackie's comments were a fool, okay? And they seem to come into stark contrast with who we know her to be and who she has purported to be in front of the camera for all of these years, okay? She's always been a champion of women, a champion of mothers, a champion of black mothers especially. And it's sad that, you know, a 30-second clip or however long the clip was basically tries to undo a lifetime worth of good, okay? I think that we live in a very cancelable culture right now, and we want to basically invalidate someone's whole existence by one mistake, all right? And as I always tell y'all, you know, one time is a fluke, twice is a pattern, and by 5 it's a lifestyle. If this is only the first instance where Dr. Jackie's words don't align with her past actions, then I think we can be more pragmatic than trying to cancel that lady, okay? I think we can kind of extend her the grace that we would want extended in that same situation, okay? And if we thought about situations like that in terms of one time is a fluke, twice is a pattern, and by 5 it's a lifestyle, we would kind of be a bit more agreeable to give people second chances and not cancel them at first jump, okay? So like I said, the comments were a fool, okay? And clearly, you know, my father always says the best lesson is a bought lesson. Clearly that lady has bought that lesson. It dissolves her into a puddle of tears. She's probably still reeling from it. She said it affected her marriage as well. So, you know, sometimes you have to go through a storm in order to get better on the other side, all right? So, you know, I'm sorry Dr. Jackie went through all of that. I'm sorry that it was from the fruit of her own tongue that she went through it. But, you know, the best lesson is a bought lesson now, Jackie, and now you have to kind of be more cognizant of wherever you are, you know, however you're speaking, somebody may take a portion of that, take it out of context if it was taken out of context, and it could basically undo 20 plus years of a stellar career, okay? So prayers to Dr. Jackie. Hope she gets through the storm and hope she also learns the lesson, okay? Because there's no point in going through something if you're not going to learn a lesson as well. Now, the quad connection, okay, was the part that was really tripping me out, because I noticed y'all basically voted Miss Quad off the island, but to think that she would be so nefarious as to try to bring down Dr. Jack. Look, Quad is shady. Quad is, arguably the breakout star of Married to Medicine. Quad loves to, do things, stir up the pot, and then twirl off, okay? But I don't think, right, that her aspirations in terms of being a successful, character reality TV star on this show compete very heavily with her morality, okay? What you are accusing her of, or what they kind of alluded that she may have been a part of, is egregious, okay? There is fun shade, there is bad shade, and then there is, the egregiosity of the situation, okay? Now, listen, you can, shade somebody's business, shade them as a doctor, but when you are literally trying to tear down their business, that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day, okay? I don't believe Miss Quad was connected, but you see, this is how friendships work, okay? When you fall out with people, and you're going through a storm, sometimes your mind starts to play tricks on you. Okay, this person is not around. They're not as connected as they used to be. I have not heard from them. Could they in some way be connected because they're spiteful in terms of us voting her off the island, in terms of us not being as close as we used to? Okay, so I'm not going to say it's not a fruitful train of thought in terms of something that I may have been thinking in the moment, right? In terms of if I was going through the storm, the person who's not around may have had something to do with it. I'm not going to say it's not a possibility that may have run through your head, but when you go over Quad's track record, when it comes to extremely serious stuff, she's usually on the right side of, the coin. So it was interesting that the ladies may have thought that, but I'm glad that they kind of realized that, Quad will do a lot, but she ain't gonna go that damn far. Okay, that's extremely serious. Okay. Now let's talk about Quad not being a good friend. Like I said before, in terms of these friendships, Quad is on the exterior of the group. I always say, all right, you put into a friendship what you get out of it. And it seems like from the other ladies' perspective, there was a point in time where Quad was pouring into them, they were pouring into Quad, and then kind of the scales got unbalanced, and it seems like the other ladies felt that they were investing in Quad, but they were not getting that same love back on the back end, okay? And when a relationship becomes lopsided, you become resentful, right? I'm putting in all this effort, I'm reaching out to you, I'm trying to include you in my life, and when the tables are turned, none of that is going on. I've never been to your house, we reach out to you, you don't call back, we leave you messages, you don't return them, okay? And when things become lopsided, sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, and sometimes absence literally makes the situation, resemble what it is, okay? If we've dealt without you for so long, okay, and it hasn't been an issue, then we can continue on in that way. We will give you exactly what you want, and it seems like that's kind of where Quad finds herself right now. Now, and that goes into the whole Quad versus Simone thing as well, in terms of Simone feeling like she's pouring into Quad, and she's not feeling like she's getting that same thing on the back end. The thing about it is this: Quad can apologize in the moment, as she did to Toya, as she did to Simone, and X, Y, and Z. But it's always, I guess, in the current. It's going to be viewed under the vein of, why are you doing this, okay? Are you doing this because we voted you off the island? Are you doing this because you're on the exterior of the group looking in? Are you doing this because you want to still stay on the show? You want to still be in the mix, okay? I think the biggest indication of whether Quad has truly learned her lesson, is truly committed to being a better friend, is what happens in the down times of the season, all right? When there's no cameras, when there's no filming, when there's no Bravo, are you showing up for us, okay? Are you following up with us? Are you trying to be integrated with the group, okay? Because it's one thing for you to try to do these things when the lights is on and everything is, lights, camera, action, 3, 2, 1, go, okay? But it's a whole nother thing when you are in your regular life. Like, are we a part of it? Are you trying to make steps to make us a part of it, all right? Because we want to be there for you, but it's like that whole thing of once bitten, twice shy, okay? We have literally been down the road with you on this on so many times, and it just seems like every single time, nothing fruitful comes from it. So, I appreciate Quad's apologies. I appreciate her kind of, trying to tell her side of the story as well. Sometimes I think it's a fool because when you've done something to somebody, and as it's one thing for one person to feel a way, okay? It's a whole nother kettle of fish for 5 people to feel a damn way, feel the same way about you, okay? So where 2 or more agree, there has to be some level of truth to it. So you kind of have to accept your role in it, accept what you did, and try to move forward. And Quad, if you truly want to heal it with these ladies, make sure that the words are not empty, okay? The way that you feel today is not based on, I want to get back in the group, I want to still continue on the show. Make sure it's based on when the lights go down, when the show ain't going, when we ain't in the midst of filming a show, that your ass is still a good friend, all right? And I think that if you do that on a consistent basis, you'll build back the goodwill with the group, all right? And I guess we'll see the continuation of the whole Quad versus Simone saga in part 2. But y'all, I think that's really all I want to talk about in this part 1 of the season 10 Married to Medicine reunion. So if you liked what I said, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all social media at DatDamnDasher, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.